Hey Clashers, I have received so many questions yesterday in the comments about iTzu. Why is there not Town of 15 playable at the last challenge? Why are the rewards pretty low for the last challenge? Like, what is going on over there? And I thought I would just address this because, I mean, if it would be like one or maybe two comments, okay. But it were just so many comments that I just thought, okay, I would just clarify that, give my point of view, and then you can obviously comment on that and share your point of view and your opinion overall. But let's get ready with Town of 15. So, Town of 15, it was already teased many times in interviews from community manager, from Darian, and like different scenarios that it's really likely that it's Town of 15, that is going to be the next big update. So a lot of you were kind of expecting that there was like a teaser, a playable, or something happening with the last challenge of the Clash anniversary in Clash of Clans. That is like the current situation. So give me now my opinion on that. First of all, I think that might sound harsh, but first of all, I think that if you lose it using logic, a lot of times you can get to the right conclusion as well. Yeah, that's just before that. So let's learn first a couple of basics about Clash of Clans, which is overall in the year we have 4 updates. This means one in April, one in June, one in October, one December. This is like the rough timeline for every single year over the last 10 years roundabout, with like different updates from Clash of Clans. They really like this 4 updates in a year system, and that's pretty much the setup we're talking about. Then the next thing is that I know that might surprise you, but actually Supercell employees are actual humans. And this means that there's only a certain resource or like a certain power which they can bring up to create for us the next update, which is in the limits of being a human, if that makes any sense whatsoever. What do I try to say with this? So overall, the approach from Supercell is that they like those smaller game teams. This is something which you obviously could like or agree or disagree. Everyone can have their own opinion on that. I just think, for example, like my opinion on that is that I feel like in the current time it's just so fast paced that I feel like, especially in the game industry, it's a huge bonus if you have like a bigger development team. That's just like my point of view, but at the same time I'm not a game developer, so I just have a really limited point of view on that, but that's just my feeling. So since a lot of people are always saying, okay, you never criticize anything about what Supercell does, so I just want to share that, well, I have some opinions as well which are not matching with the ones which Supercell have. So I feel like that's sometimes kind of strange, which people are like saying. But whatever, that was not the main thing. The main thing what I want to talk about is just, okay, they cannot just produce in like 1 week the next big update. That's what I'm trying to say. And the prime example was this year and how the updates were dropped and how they were working on. So for example, we had in April, we had this big update with the clan capital, right? So we had a huge update. Super said it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest Clash update ever. And this means obviously that they had to put a lot of time into it, coding it, working on it, like the concepts, the graphics, everything. It takes a long time to just come up with the idea, and from that idea to get to the finish line, kind of. This takes a lot of time. And that being said, now with Town of 50 then maybe being next on the menu, they need some time. The last update was kind of small with the June update because there was only 1.5 month in between of the clan capital and the June update. But now they have a little more time for the next update. And then now the next piece of information which we have is that Supercell said roundabout every 18 months, so 1.5 years, as I said, roundabout, they want to have a new town hall level. So if you're talking about Town of 14, was released April roundabout, it is that 18 month would be October or December, based on the timeline which I have already talked to you earlier. So now my question to all of the people who are really believing, like really truly believing that we're going to see a Town of 15 teaser or even playable, like some people said they were expecting that they could already attack Town of 15. The thing is that they had now time to work on that from the Clan Capital update, right? So it is some time. In addition to that, talk about the storytelling as well. Would you announce Town of 15 really in the Clash Anniversary, which is already special in itself, and it's like a really cool idea with all of the cool challenges and everything? Would you announce that in addition to that? Or would you more announce it with like the Clash World Championship being in Helsinki with the best players in the world, because there's the best 8 teams fighting for the $1 million prize pool, where you have a ton of creators over there, which are in the HQ, and you have viewers, which means you have your normal Clash players there as well. Would you choose that or the Clash Anniversary? For me personally, it would be kind of like one-sided. But again, this is just a guess from me, okay? This is like pure speculation based on the timeline again and what we know from informations. As I said, I want to just explain to you how you can come to your own conclusions with just using logic and the information which are public, right? So that's like the important thing. So we know every 18 months, we know 4 updates in the year, we know roughly when they're going to drop, we know, okay, Clash World Championship, end of September in Helsinki. Like, there's a lot of things which are kind of fitting together. But then again, and that's why I mentioned it earlier, you have this problem with like the power of humans which are behind all of like this entire project, with having to code everything, having to come up with the graphics and everything around that. So maybe it's not going to be enough time for them to code it. Then it might be December. So there's always a lot of different things which are going to happen to work to kind of together to make a certain result in the end. And this, I feel like, something which I really want to talk about, because I feel like so many people are really not really thinking about that. They were like kind of expecting things which are never going to happen. And this kind of makes me sad, because I feel like, this is kind of like just putting the entire mood down, because they're expecting something which is not even close to being realistic. It's kind of like expecting that you're waking up the next morning and suddenly having like $1 million next to you. Well, it's really unlikely that is going to happen, right? So, yeah, please, before you're trying to expect something, try to think about if it's even likely or if it's even somewhat to be possible. That's the first thing which I wanted to talk about with like Town of 15, and a lot of people were like kind of disappointed, and that's why I feel like it's really hard to live up to expectations when your expectations are just so strange. But now let's get to the rewards, because that's something which I feel like I'm way more I'm understanding that way better than the first point, and that is, a lot of people were asking, why are the rewards for the last challenges so bad, or like not better? Let's put it like that way. And I would have had the same questions before I would have worked with Supercell, but over all of the years I was able to get some like behind the scenes things. And the one speculation, again, it's really important that you know this is a speculation on my end based on the knowledge which I was collecting over the last couple of years. Based on my speculation, I would think that Supercell said, okay, the majority of Clashers in this game might not be the best players, so they might struggle with challenges, or they're just straight up new players, so they struggle with challenges. So giving them the best reward with having to finish every single challenge on 3 stars is not that fair. And I hope that you understand that, because I feel like it's really likely that that's the case, right? And if that's the case, it makes sense why they put, for example, the scenery so early on, even though the scenery could have been the main prize. The scenery could have been the main prize, but overall, like, really think about it, we got a free scenery, we got a free universal book, we got a lot of different free stuff in this reward list. Yes, maybe the last reward wasn't the greatest with the builder potion, but still, like, you have to consider everything together. And I think it was a cool event with all of those challenges. Some of them were really, really fun. Some of them I did not like too much. I mean, that's just my opinion. For example, the Inferno Dragon challenge, I didn't like it that much. So there were a couple of kind of spamming ones in there, but either way, overall, I think the event, the project, the idea was super cool to like just live through the entire last different 10 years of Clash of Clans. And yeah, that's pretty much my speculation, my idea why I think it's the reason why I think that they chose this pattern of rewards. And let me know what you think. I had now 2 huge talking points. I talked a lot in this video. Let me know what you think. If I'm right, if I might be right with my Town of 15 speculation, and if I might be right with my reward speculation. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the next video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.